Welcome back, world, to the Verbal Intercourse Podcast. Got your host, Nick Walker, back in the building with you today. Shout out to everybody that's been listening, supporting the podcast, sharing the podcast, subscribing to it. Really appreciative over here at Verbal Intercourse. And keep supporting us. Today, got two very special guests, two artists in the building. It's Mental Health Month. And, we out here, we everybody trying to get better, beat these generational curses. And today, got a special guest, Mrs. Christina Mcfield, Mrs. Monica Hill. How y'all feeling today?
Amazing.
Feeling very excited.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me.
You're supposed to be here.
Yeah, she
Wayne dang.
Oh, we finna have a Wayne dang doodle.
Hey, she's here, so she was supposed to be here. She was supposed to be here.
Yeah.
So like I stated, it's Mental Health Awareness Month. It's May, and I think us collectively as a group of millennials, we have been taking those steps forward to try to improve our mental health, beat those generational curses. Yeah. And I think it's amazing, especially when you put on you put on an event like you did, Christina, with the Art of Wellness event. Mm-hmm. It was an amazing event. It was in May at the Doolin Hall, and I was very proud of you from somebody that's watched you grow up to put something together like that. I remember early on when you was talking about how you wanted to do art, how that was in your blood, and you was kind of fighting with it at the time. That I think we talked.
I'm trying to think of that conversation now.
It's been some years.
Yeah, we've
years
known each other a while. Okay, you'll have to remind me.
Yeah, it's been some years and years, but it's beautiful to see you grow in your space, grow into your creativity, and to create an event like that, which is very important for the community, especially the Black community in Jackson, Mississippi. So talk to me a little bit about why you created that. Will that be annually, and why is mental health so important?
Well, first I have to say it was co-produced by me and Allison Holloway. That event that was put on, actually, she came to me about it, I would say, maybe in November of last year. But it was so funny when she came to me about it. I was like, this is crazy. I don't even think I shared it with her, but I was like, this is crazy. I had the exact same thing written down that, I want to do. I've always wanted to do a community exhibition, and I've been really into mental wellness. I feel like lately, the last couple of years, especially, since I went plant-based and everything since then. So when she came to me, I was like, okay, yeah, we have to do it. Like, I have someone wanting to do it too. Like, let's do this thing. So I put all of my friends together, resources that I had, and it literally came to fruition within a matter of a few months, literally the beginning of this year. And to do something like that so fast, I'm just very, now that it's over, now I feel like I can pat myself on the back, from actually using my experiences and things that I've learned in the past to put something on like that. So being able to have access, to be able to travel, to be able to see art, especially when I was in college, I didn't really have access as a child per se, museum wise or whatever, things like that. But being able to see that and know how it influenced me is really what pushed me to want to do something like this in my community, because I'm just like, man, I hear friends saying they want to go places, they want to do things. I'm like, I've been blessed to see those things. How can I bring it right here for people not to have to leave or whatever? You can have that right here at home. And I already feel like it's a disservice to people who live here, because, we're all creative, and it's just all my friends are just special in what they do. And I was just like, I have to make a way. I've always loved making people feel good, making experiences for people, things like that. And even being in college, I was like, tell people to come up. So I was like, okay, thinking or looking back to my college years and how I was just able to bring people together, I was just like, okay, obviously it's a gift. It's a gift to be able to bring so many different types of people in one room to enjoy the same thing. So, I just kind of kept going back to things that made me happy, I guess, when I was in college, when I finally left home and had this freedom, and I was able just to take that freedom and do literally any and everything. In the middle of the semester, I was like, I'm going to go to Disney World and work, so I took a risk and, did that internship. And I remember getting on the bus, going to Miami by myself, calling my mom, I'm on the way to Miami, just to let you know. And she's like, what? You know.
Oh, shit.
It's too late.
Yeah, I was like, it's too late. I'm going to Miami. And,
Whatever you say right now.
Yeah, it's just,
it.
but it takes things like that, taking a risk and betting on yourself, you know what I'm saying? And just knowing it's going to work out. Like, I always just listen to that intuition, that gut feeling. I was just like, it's going to work out. Like, there's no other way. It's, you know, I was always focused. And with going to Miami, actually, my mom hasn't seen her brother in years. I was able to meet up with him. Next thing I know, my mom was there in Miami like a month and a half later.
Wow.
So because of my risks that I've taken, I feel like in certain aspects of my life, like, it's also helped my family push forward. So now where I'm at now, it's just like, you know, I never gave up on my dream. And I feel like my family sees that because of, you know, I feel like, you know, our parents, I feel like they didn't really live their dreams, you know, and so they're able to see me still push forward. And, you know, even though they telling me to get a job with benefits, do this, you'll be set for life. And I'm like, this just doesn't sound right. Like,
you should tell them what I want to do got benefits too.
Yeah,
okay. Might not be the ones you talking about.
Okay, right. But I'm just like, there's more to life than this. Like, there's more to life than this. So, you know, just being able to just jump out there, go experience a lot of just different things, be around a lot of different people, learning a lot, traveling, all of that, like, combined in a nutshell, has helped me see the power of art, see the power of music, see the power of all of that, you know, and I feel, or I know, you know, the more we have access to that, especially as Black people for sure, the more we have access to that, we'll be able to heal ourselves. You know, it's just like, I want to see a community where we're just thriving and we're just walking down the street like, what's up, bro? You know, how you doing? You good? I haven't seen that in so long. I don't even know what that feels like, honestly, because I didn't grow up like that. You know, my aunts lived in a whole nother city, and then, you know, people. I want to get back to that type of community, you know, where we can go to the club and not have it get shot up all the time. Like, I want to go, you know, I like Caribbean Afro beats. I want to go and just be able to have a good time and not feel scared or whatever. Like, I just want people to come together, you know, to feel love and see the power of that. So,
yeah. I definitely feel you there. I think that art, culture, music, that form of expression is what brings the people together.
Absolutely.
And I think that your event showed that, you know, you could bring people from different walks of life to embrace art, as well as ask these questions about their mental health. Sometimes people go to those events and they end up self-reflecting and looking at themselves in the mirror and basically saying, you know what, maybe I do need a little help right now. You know what I'm saying? And I've been to mental health therapy, and, you know, I think it's great. I would always recommend people to do it, especially as a Black man, you know, because I feel like we have a lot of generational curses that we haven't really addressed due to the fact that the world wants us to not express ourselves. So one of my outlets is podcasting, and I think it's been great for me. So I want to ask Monica a question. Do you feel like the art that you create is your outlet for any mental anxiety, depression, or anything that you constantly deal with on a daily basis?
Yeah, I do. I mainly, when I'm just a visual artist, whatever my hands draw me to, like, I'm down to touch it. I want to feel it. I want to smell. What this smell like? What this, you know? So, and that releases the serotonin in my body for me. Smells, feel, like textures.
I love that.
So just like with painting, with the rugs, really with the rugs, with resin, with whatever it may be. That's like my happy place. So I really don't create like I'm sad, I'm gonna go create, or I'm happy. Like it's just like a routine for me now. It's just like my therapy sessions. I basically give myself. I've tried therapy, you know, like sitting and talking, and you know, that might not be your method of therapy.
That's for sure.
And I feel like everybody's trying to go talk to a therapist, go get therapy. Like I learned so much about myself creating.
Same.
I'm just like, this is more than what telling somebody who don't know, never met me, like telling them all my problems. Like, I can figure this shit out. Now I can figure this shit out. So
yeah.
I probably strayed away from the question, but that's what art does. That's what art does for me. Like, I did my first painting for the show, and that was something new for my hands, and to showcase it to everybody. Because I even text Tina like, "Girl, I don't think I'm gonna just.
No, you gonna do it.
I don't think I'm gonna do it.
It's beautiful.
I love it. I was going downstairs and like."
Like, I fuck with it.
So any little moment of joy, and in those good moments like that, or even if I create and I'm feeling down and it's not what I want to show the world, like I go and journal. That's another form of therapy.
Right.
I journal and we bring that shit into fruition. But look, so journaling is just a way to
absolutely
escape the world. Really, I can put all of my thoughts in here, like wherever I'm feeling, what I need to work on for today, what I want to do better tomorrow, what I'm proud of. Like, everything don't have to be a critique. Just get that off of you before you go to bed or when you wake up in the morning. So just some other item, music, like you can just we can go on and on about my therapy sessions and what art does for me. It stems to so much other stuff for me.
Same for
and that's
me.
the beauty of it. I'm glad I started. I'm happy for the pandemic, because if it weren't for the pandemic, I don't know, I probably would still be like, I'm too nervous to do this, or I don't want to show my shine. Like, shout out to the pandemic, because baby,
I feel like the pandemic brought out the best in a lot of people, especially because it made the world slow down and for us to take time to create things that we always wanted to do. My podcast is basically birthed from the pandemic as well. I think that it gave me an opportunity to just sit back and think about things that I wanted to do. It's interesting that you brought up earlier that our parents didn't really have the opportunity to do things that they actually loved.
Right.
And I felt like that was profound, because it's like, me personally, a lot of the things that brings me anxiety and sometimes stress and depression is the fact that I'm caught up in a capitalistic society, and I'm working in healthcare as a doctor of physical therapy.
Right.
And, a lot of people would be like, man, that's a good job,
to you.
Yeah. It's a good job,
It is.
to be objective. But I'm saying, like, I won't say it provides me the happiness that you might have from creating on a 24/7 basis.
Right.
And I think that's very profound, because I feel like if the Matrix was in real life, you would be free from it and I'd be plugged in.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this statement?
Ooh, that's kind of heavy. Real talk. So that's another thing too with this whole, let's say, mental well-being, like this wellness that I have literally taken across like every spectrum of my life, literally. Right. And that's a part of me doing the work that I'm doing, is I want to be completely free. I named myself on Instagram Nomad Tina years ago, but I feel like now I really, really know what that means. I've always wanted to be free.
You definitely a nomad. Like, this girl would go anywhere in the world by her damn
self. We just talked about this yesterday.
And I told her, I said, that shit is dangerous. Stop doing it. She said, no, this is what I do.
This is what I do. And honestly, God's spirit has led me. I had to tell my mom that literally we had this conversation 2 days ago, I want to say. And I was telling her, I was like, it has to be a gift. It honestly has to be a gift to be able to move in the way that I do. And I was just like, okay, like I finally feel like I just started owning it, honestly, and I just know that where I go, it's never going to lead me wrong, and I trust it, I trust it. And it just, I've gotten it numerous times, that feeling, and I just know it's right. So that's how I move. But going back to your question, being free is like my ultimate goal. Like, I feel like if it doesn't bring me freedom in some aspect, I want no parts. I really don't want any parts, because if the moment I feel like I'm like, planted somewhere, I'm like, when it feels like it's the rest of my life, at least, I don't want to stay there. I've always or even if I am, planted somewhere, there's nothing wrong with being planted. I'm not saying that. My thing is, it's just like, I need to be able to move within that area. Let's just say, you know, I'll just bring up, for example, with me working at the Mississippi Museum of Art, I literally worked in so many different positions there, like just to learn how this place operates to the T, you know. And of course, I didn't, you know, work as a director or anything like that, but I was there long enough to really see how things operate. So I was like, okay, I was planted there, you know, for a while, and then I just, you know, was able to be in that space and learn so much. Like, I wanted to just be a shadow with this person. I don't care if they were the janitor. They're like, what do you do? You know, I was just interested, and I feel like that keeps me going, being curious in everything. Staying curious.
I got that on my website.
Yes, stay curious. Yeah. Like, that will help you you will learn so much. It's like, how do you know how to do this? I'm interested in everything. Like, I don't feel like I'm above or, you know, no less than. I just want to know everything, because I'm able to do that one thing I feel like I focus on so well, because I know so many different areas to come from, you know, if that makes sense. But yeah, I want to be no parts of this matrix. It's just not, you know.
I'm in the matrix.
Yeah. and we all still are in some aspect, you know what I'm saying? But like, if I can control something, I'm gonna really, really fight to my hardest, you know, to make my dreams come true. But this is always how I want it to be, you know what I'm saying? When I was little, I think I just had to figure out, like, that could be a career, that could be a direction I can go in. I didn't necessarily see that when I was little. So of course, you know, I did, like, because I was honestly interested in healthcare, things of that nature too as well. I'm really interested. Yeah, like, nobody knows that. You know?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, like, I was going to school for nursing. I remember, like, I could have been taking art classes, I think my last year of high school, but I was like, I'm gonna take these nursing classes because this, you know, I was like, I don't know, I can't do art in college or whatever. And then finally, when I got in, I was like, I'm doing art, I'm gonna figure this out. So I went for architecture first, because I was obsessed with blueprints and things, and it went into graphic design, and I hated being on the computer. And then I'm kind of like you, like, I have to touch things. I've always been that way. Grew up, you know, fixing stuff, nailing stuff, painting stuff. That also influenced my art and things, you know. Now I'm being with my mom and with her renovation, you know, rental houses and things like that, doing renovations. Like, living in a salon, not living, but my mom and my dad own a salon. So
really? I
grew up in a hair salon when I was little. So seeing people create literally every day, you know, just in a different form. So I don't know so much, but I just try to stay free. Yeah, if I can.
Monica, you recently participated in the art exhibit at the Doolin Hall. So how did you feel about the environment? And, you know, because I saw, well, one of the guys grabbed the mic and he was basically like, this is the first time.
Quasi Butler.
Mm-hmm. He basically said that this was the first time he's ever seen that many people come out for the black artists in Mississippi. So how do you feel about that night, and how do you feel about where Mississippi art could go? Like, with
shout out to Quasi.
Yeah.
For real.
That's my dog. I'm gonna start there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start.
Quasi, we love you. Okay.
But we do.
No,
I
seriously,
gained so much that night, and this is just me. I was like, I had a newfound confidence, because sometimes I be like underpricing or just in my head.
And she know I'm gonna get
about what I do, and I'm like, you are fucking great, like you a guy, like you really out here creating, and you put your heart into that. And that night really made me realize, like, baby, see, I'm the one, not the two. Okay. So I hope it gave other artists in their room that same confidence, like, okay, you know, I can do this, like this, I could live my life like this. So that part of it, just being there, being present, you know, seeing all the other creators and just thinking, like, they probably had these same thoughts too. You could see the sparkle in these black people's eyes that night, and it was just beautiful. It felt good in there. It smelled good in there. Like, it just was. It was really good. It was really good, and I hope it was a learning experience from even just the artists that were in there too. Them talking about mental health up front. Like, I know for a fact somebody in there went away with something. And to see the older generation participating, like, he was like...
He was.
And, you know, to hear their stories, too. Because, you know, our moms and dads and grandparents, they not open, or they'll think downplay your mental health, like you need to pray or you need to no, like I'm really suffering. So just to see that might have opened somebody's mind, like change their perspective on something, especially enough to share. Not saying that young men did not already think these things, but to just share it was beautiful. So even from the zine that was handed out, like I've been feeling like I need to hand these out still, and when I'm talking to people, like use these resources. So it was amazing.
It is online. It is online. I'll give you the link.
Yes.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you about that.
Yes. What else can I say?
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. It's online. They need that.
Okay. I was thinking that's the perfect time to say it.
I had to scrape for resources. So if this had happened for me like a year ago, I'm like, this is everything I need, from playlists to your resources to your doctors around here to podcasts. I mean, it's just, like I said, it's more than one form of therapy. Yes. And just to have that all compiled in that booklet was amazing.
Yeah. Real talk, that book was fire.
Absolutely. Like, from the color scheme to the font.
Yeah. I was going to say, whoever created the booklet, like they had everything that it needed, because I feel like, especially Black men, a lot of people, they don't know how to research these sources on how to find a therapist, how to find books to read. I know when I seeked out my not physical therapist, my mental health therapist, I just Googled. Yeah. And I just I just got lucky with the first person I hit that she was like good for me. Yep. But that oftentimes like I said, I just got lucky. It's like hitting the lotto. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And that's the thing that I'm tired of. I'm tired of having to Google Black this, Black that, and so that wasn't our, intention was to be able to put everything right there where you don't have to go look and Google none of that. And then hopefully the people, I know there were some therapists who came, so hopefully they networked. Somebody found a therapist that night. Of course people went up to Charla, got her information because she was, a therapist on the panelists and things like that. But
it was just so much love. Yeah, like I felt so warm the whole time. I'm like, that's what we wanted. And that was on stage. Like, so if you need somebody,
that's what we wanted. That's what we wanted. So it was definitely about making people feel loved, and like artists, we want, we're all looking for space to show our work, because it's like, you could be doing work for yourself, cool, but, some work you make to show people, like, so I wanted a space where people could show their work, and it's all healed in the same, in the same place, so, yeah, it was very intentional.
Yeah, for sure. I think y'all did an amazing job.
Thank you.
So let's get into y'all individually a little bit. What kind of art would you say you do, Christina? And then we're going to go to Monica, and we're going to talk about the type of art that you do.
Ooh, okay. So many different things.
Name them all.
Okay. I was actually about to say something else, but so I have always been a painter since I was little. I've been a lot of things since I was little. And then I got into photography, I think, when I was in middle school, and sculpture when I got a little bit older, high school, I would have said. Well, honestly, all of it. I just didn't know what to call it. Let's just say that. But I am a multidisciplinary artist, so I just combine those three forms of art. And also, I'm a culture producer, so also me creating events, creating things like that is also a form of art. It's part of my art practice. So I would say both of those together.
Dope. All right, Monica.
What kind of artist am I?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'm gonna give a little, background, 1-2 history. I started off in theater. So really? at Power APAC.
So that's what I was about to say.
Y'all couldn't tell me nothing. I was an actress, and you couldn't tell me otherwise. I was in the first high school play in the 4th grade. Breach of Terabithia. Look, I had a blast. I was maybe
wow. Okay, we're not gonna go there.
I got it on film. I'm gonna show it to you. Okay. So I started off in theater, but if anybody went to APAC, they know like you still had to go to visual arts, you still had to go to music and dance. So I've like dabbled in all of those. I used to be in there playing the piano. I used to be in dance. You couldn't tell me nothing in there either. Can't dance at all. And I went to visual arts, but aside from theater, visual like really stuck with me.
Yeah, same for me. That's what I was gonna say. I was about to say singing and all that, but I was like, Nick, know that. I'm not gonna say that in public, but here we are.
Yes. The visual arts really stuck with me, and I always used to be like, I'm phenomenal in theater, but I need to be in here. Fast forwarding, when I tap back into my superpowers.
Okay.
That's
what superpower.
I tap back into my superpowers, and now I just call myself a visual artist. I try to be that what kind of artist am I? What do I do? And baby, I do it all, and I enjoy doing it all. So I'm just a visual artist. I make visually aesthetic. Did you hear that too?
Yeah.
Look, that threw me off. But visually pleasing pieces of art. That's what I do.
Shout out your Instagram handle, because these rugs she make are fire.
People be coming up in public saying, "Rug Mama, come on,
you Rug Mama,
yes, that's her,
Rug Mama." Hey,
you know me.
Them rugs she make fire. She'll do whatever you want her to do.
This is true. This is
amazing.
true. You can follow my Instagram at the Art.
Shameless plug. Okay.
Follow me. Send me an email. Don't DM me.
So she is off social media. You better say that.
I'm off social media.
You
right
off
now.
social media?
The app is deleted. My pages are still there, but I'm trying to be all right. I need a break. Y'all shutting me out.
Part of her mental.
Yeah. Part of my mental health. Look,
seriously.
Do what you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Do what you need to do. Hello. Whoa.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Plug yourself. Do your thing.
My Instagram is the.archives.com. Not .com. Well, that's my website, but my Instagram handle is the.artkives. Follow me. Hit that contact button in my bio, and it'll send you to compose the email. Send me an email. Let's chat. Let's work.
Yeah, definitely. Do that. So, to bridge into my next question, I kind of wanted to ask y'all about how important it is to protect your mental space when you are an artist and a creative, because I think that it takes, for lack of a better word, balls to just create for your full-time job. And like I talked to y'all off camera about Basquiat, Van Gogh, people that suffered with mental depression, anxiety, stress, that led them to untimely deaths. How important is it to protect your mental space as a creative?
Well, for anyone should be protecting their space.
That is vital.
Yeah, I can't even just say that for being a creative. I mean, anybody.
I think though, as a creative, I feel like, y'all could go through spaces where y'all just can't create shit.
Oh, okay.
But life is still going. Bills are still coming. You see what I'm saying? So it's how do you not succumb to the pressure?
For me, I find things that inspire me, and I do them, and I try to practice them often because I want to do things that make me feel good. And if I'm doing things that make me feel good, I know somehow, some way, I'm going to get inspired. Just like being outside, laying in my hammock at my little spot, something's going to inspire me. Whether I take a nap, wake up, and see a spider, I see a vine, I see anything, I just always, and I go back and I journaled it. I just feel like sometimes my ideas come from when I'm in these happy spaces. I probably have a dream, something in a dream come to me, and I'm like, I want to create this, So something's going to inspire me. I just feel like as long as you're doing things that, and I might be wrong, this might just work for me.
Yeah, it might just work.
It might just work for me, but hopefully it works for somebody else that's listening too. But take the time to do things that make you happy, because sometimes we get stuck in these routines that are just not healthy for us mentally, and you gotta,
that's huge. Yeah,
gotta stray away from it. Anyway, it can be the smallest things that make you happy. Just make sure you're taking the time to do that.
Yep.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think with me personally, I need some spontaneity in my life. I like to have like days like this where you randomly do some shit and then you randomly do some other shit, and it helps my creativity out as well. Even when I'm creating with the podcast, it gives me, I need to be around people and hear them talk about things that I might have thought about, but I didn't really think that much about.
Yeah.
So, I find it real helpful to just be out in the environment to just create. I think it helps me deal with my weekly struggles of working, the routine and stuff like that, to just come in this room and just podcast and create something and then just distribute it. And people say, "Oh shit, I fuck with that." Like, I think that's very important for me. Like it's not like I'm trying to gain some notoriety to where I feel like I'm above people. It's just that I like creating some shit. You know what I'm saying, and putting it together. And I think all three of us have that in common. We like creating, putting it together, and being like, "Wow, I like what I created," rather than who gives a fuck about it. You know what I'm saying? So y'all pretty much agree with that.
Yeah, I would agree, because I feel like that's me. Like with booking trips, I'd be like, "Oh, I got to do something." Like,
right. I'm
definitely like, when I'm feeling like I said, like unfree or whatever, like I'm gonna go do something. And yeah, I think that's just how I respond to things, honestly, too. But it's helpful.
Yeah, for sure. I think for anybody that's listening to this podcast, I feel like these two women are examples of what happens when you actually live your truth and be yourself and do the things that you enjoy to do. And I think that's very important. I think it's, if you want a regular day job and you find it just important, that's amazing too. Yeah, I work a regular day job, but I also create shit as well. But I think it's very important to have people like you, because y'all inspire me, because it's like y'all heroic to me to do the shit that y'all do. And y'all actually putting shit together that the culture fuck with. You know what I'm saying? Black people fuck with y'all shit, and it's just amazing. So yeah, shout out to y'all, Christina, Monica.
Thank you.
Before we close the podcast now, I'm gonna let y'all do the plugging in y'all social media. I was just getting started.
Shit. Look, I just warmed up.
I know it. You got
part two. Check.
Right. So yeah, just start out with Christina. Just plug you.
Okay. So my Nomad Tina page, you're welcome to follow that page. But my business pages for my art is Christina Mcfield. And my last name is McField, because I know people mess that up. So you can follow that page. And then the Wood Grain Studio. So that's also, two different things. The Wood Grain Studio is, my business, to where I've done the art of wellness and work with other artists, project management. You're welcome to send me an email to talk about all of those things. But then the Christina Mcfield page is for art.
It's my goal.
She already said hers.
Y'all can follow my personal page if you want to see my face. But it's MONEYYCA_. Don't follow me. Okay. Follow me if you want to. I don't be doing nothing. But and my art page is the Archives website, thearchives.com. That's it. That's all I got going on.
Yeah, so. Yeah.
And ChristinaMcField.com. I forgot to put my website. But anyway, here we go.
Yeah, so yeah, they plugged in, hit them up, work with them, collab with them, communicate with them.
Watch out for our collabs.
Hey.
Yeah, yes, we do.
Y'all got a collab. Okay, Go ahead.
We got something. Yeah. Now we got to do it.
It's
on the way. But
okay. They got a collab on the way. Hey. But yeah, stay supporting Verbal Intercourse Podcast. Remember, the purpose of this podcast is for millennial expression, Black millennial expression. And, we out here. Stay safe and peace out.
Peace. Bye, you guys. I can't believe I did this. I don't want to stop now.
You got real comfortable. I'm so proud of you.